Wildcats. So we are wrapping up our notebook today. We are going to be working on genetics and Punnett square notes. So in our notebook, we're going to be doing slides 38 through 49. Slide 50 is just the end. So slide 38, we're going to read and answer the question. So let's go ahead and look at it. So we're talking about acquired traits. And then it says, list the example of acquired traits you have learned over the years. So list a couple there. All right, and then we have more acquired traits, physical, not passed down, is a learned trait. So then we're talking about learned traits. So list some examples of acquired traits. Oh, sorry, same one. Okay, so we have now our inherited traits. So we have freckles, hair color, all that you have genetically inherited. Coming down, and it says, let's see how many human traits you can think of that are inherited. List as many as you can, and the space below. It gives you some more examples. The eye color, the hair color, things like that. Then we have dominant traits versus the recessive traits. When do recessive traits show in an offspring? That's when there is two recessive traits, two recessive genes together. That's when it'll show the recessive trait. And then it says, study the dog picture below and answer the reflection question. So these are puppies. What dominant traits do you see in this family? What traits do you think could be recessive? Slide 44. Now we have a couple different examples here. So dominant trait for this would be no horns. Recessive trait is having horns. Black coat is dominant. Red coat is recessive. The white face is dominant. Black face is recessive. And we're looking at cows this time. So use the table here. If the cow only had the dominant phenotypes, what traits would be shown? So then we have no horns, black coat, white face. Individual cows who do not show phenotypes related to the recessive traits could have what types of genotypes, and then we're going to talk about their genotypes. So that's those capital and lowercase letters, going through it all. Slide 45 talks about the homozygous dominant, or capital, homozygous recessive, lowercase, heterozygous, which is one capital, lowercase. And it gives you an example of the flowers. Then we answer the questions. 46, now we're getting into our Punnett squares. So really this is the probability of the offspring, what they're going to look like, their genotype versus phenotype. So you have parent 1 and parent 2. And here's the combination of what their offspring could look like. And it just explains it all. So answer the question down here. More work with our Punnett squares to get the question right. You can see how everything lines up. So you're half your dad and half your mom from this. So you take one gene here, one gene here, one gene here, one gene here, and you line it up like that. And again, it's just probability of what the offspring could possibly look like. So we're going to practice a little bit more. This is creating a Punnett square. You can type in this one. There's boxes for each square. You can draw it. You can draw it on a piece of paper too if that would be easier for you. So draw a box with 4 squares, leaving room on the top and sides. Choose a letter to represent a trait, one capital and one lowercase. In this example, we're using the letter Y. So we have capital Y, lowercase y. Let's say you have a green pod, which is lowercase, and a yellow pea pod, which is capital lowercase or capital. Set up your table for this. And it kind of has it set up for you. Okay, and then this is what it should look like if you did it the same way. If you didn't do 2 capitals, if you just did a capital and a lowercase, it'll look like this. And then we're going to answer the questions. And then that is the end of our notebook. We're not submitting it quite yet. I always give you a little bit of time to go back and work through things if you need to. And then we will practice more Punnett squares with this. So it'll be on Kami. and you can edit it. In class, we're going to do this on paper. If you want to print it and do it on paper, it's totally fine too, but you don't have to. You can use Kami to complete this. So make sure your name is on here, class period, and then we're filling in each Punnett square. If you notice, some of them have the inside filled, so you're going to have to fill in the information for the parent. A lot of them are filling in the possibilities of the offspring already, and it gives you the 2 parents. And that is everything for Friday. If you want, you can always practice those review games from yesterday too. Again, our unit test is going to be this coming week, and grades are due today on Friday for progress reports. Okay, email me if you have any questions or if you need help with anything, and I will get back to you super quick. Have a fabulous Friday.